Our next storyteller is often the calm in the storm. Much like the water, her creativity is ever evolving. Her dedication to our mission helps propel us forward. Sunny with a Chance of Growth by Ayana Clark.
People always notice India first. She was beautiful and outgoing and so damn loud. She was a sun person. She was bold and bright and in your face and impossible to ignore. And me, I am more like the lake. I am calm and gentle until you disturb my waves. But for the most part, I thrive in the background. See, India had mastered arriving, and me, like a magician, had mastered disappearing. Now, to this day, I still don't know how we became friends. Okay, so actually, that's a lie. India became friends with me because I would have happily spent the rest of my life avoiding eye contact and going home early if India hadn't decided otherwise. Now, when I was 11, I had transferred from an all-black school to a majority-white school. And so to fit in, I tried out for something called the Halloween show. And after about an hour of learning Michael Jackson's Thriller choreography from a chunky white woman who surprisingly could dance her ass off, I started to do what I always do. And as I was retreating to the back of the stage, I heard the loudest voice going, "Oh my God, it's a black girl!" See, India was surprised because up until I came, she was the only black person in the theater club. Just a bold ballpoint pen in a sea full of printer paper. And in that moment, I was stuck, kind of like a deer in the headlights, terrified and unable to move. And I felt us being pulled closer together like magnets, and I couldn't break away because the thing about India is that once she decides that she belongs to you, you kind of do. Some people would say she kidnapped me. I was her weird theater friend that she would drag along for whatever mischievous adventure she decided for the day. And we went everywhere. I mean, on long walks, carrying a pan of chicken and planning for the future, running from the ghosts in our school's auditorium, or that one time we snuck over the gate at the LL Cool J concert. Meeting strangers who would become stories that we still laugh about years later. I mean, that girl treated every moment of our teenage years like it just had to be memorable. And I'm so grateful for her because she was a light when I needed her the most, breaking through the clouds in my life and making waves in my so calm demeanor. And India didn't care that I was poor or that my clothes often weren't clean. She would dig in her closet and get me something to wear when I was skinny, and she would steal something out of her sister's closet when I gained weight. She was my refuge. When my home life became unbearable, she was a listening ear. She taught me how to take up space, and more importantly, she taught me that I deserved love before I ever knew it for myself. I remember when I was 17 and home life had become unbearable, and we were sitting on her porch eating a pan of chicken as we always did, and I told her that I wanted to die. And in that moment, she didn't comfort me. She threatened me. She said, "Girl, if you kill yourself, I will bring you back to life and kill you again. Now shut up and eat this $15 pan of chicken." And that was it. I lived because India decided that I would. And listen, being friends with a sun person is exhausting because the girl never sat down. Every single adventure started with, "Girl, just trust me," which historically were the last words before chaos. Like the summer before I went to college, right? My parents told us we could go to McDonald's, but we had a curfew. And because we were teenagers and because the man taking our orders were cute, we missed curfew. And so on the way home, India devised a plan. We were gonna pretend that we were upstairs the whole time, and we would creep down and we would attack my parents with pillows and they wouldn't know. Okay, now even back then, that plan did not make sense to me. But me being a late person, I just went with the flow. And so we crept into the door and we snuck down the stairs. And I got scared, so I just threw my pillow and tried to race back up the stairs. But the problem was I had on flip-flops. So as I went up the stairs, my shoes went down the stairs, and next thing I know, India is at the top of the stairs yelling, "We got a casualty!" And I look down, and all I see is blood and bone. Now, what followed was a very long trip to the emergency room with a very angry pregnant mother. And we sat until 2 a.m. waiting to get 8 stitches in my arm. And my mama wanted to be so mad, but she couldn't because India just kept cracking jokes the entire time. And that's what's so special about her. She didn't just light up rooms. She really warmed people. She was the yin to my yang. I would discourage her bad decisions and she would encourage mine. Life was perfect. Until one day, the sun decided that she was moving west. She came home for a visit and said, "I'm moving to California." California. Of course, California, because that's where the sun shines the brightest. And it felt like the most India thing possible, you know, no job, no plan, no apartment, just packing up her dog and her wife and heading to the west. And I remember feeling so selfish about it because what happens to the lake when the sun leaves? Maybe I'd freeze, maybe the waves will return, maybe the warmth that she brought with her would leave. But the thing about being a lake is that we can carry warmth too. And so even though she's thousands of miles away, it's almost like she never left. Phone calls, voice notes, random memes at 2 a.m. We have the type of friendship that no matter how much time passes, we just pick up in the middle of the conversation. Last year, the sun blew in for a visit. Still bold and bright, still India, but dimmer somehow. And after about 20 minutes of random conversation and pretending everything was okay, India dropped a bombshell. She was getting a divorce. And for the first time in my life, the sun looked tired of shining. Now, here's the thing. I am not a relationship expert. I do not do well with heartbreak, and I am barely emotional stable myself. But the benefit of being a lake is that you become an expert in carrying people through storms. And so I said to my friend, "Just trust me." And I handed her an edible and I dragged her downtown. And the next thing I know, we are wandering around the Museum of Illusions high as astronauts. I mean, laughing at the installations and freaking out in the tunnel that was moving way too fast, even though we were technically standing still. Next thing I know, we are traveling through downtown like we are our teenage selves with no curfew and nowhere to go. And in that moment, I realized something. That after 20 years of friendship, I had developed my own son. Me, the lake person. The girl who used to retreat to the back of the room was now slowly pulling my best friend toward joy. And in that moment, I realized that we talk so often about how much the lake needs the sun for warmth. But that day I realized how much the sun needs the lake too. Thank you.